Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to today's unseen video. This is where we round up all the big talking points from social media, and I think the biggest talking point today has easily been Karrion Kross. Karrion has gone on to the Ariel Helwani show and made some very, very interesting comments. You are going to have to decide for yourself as to where you stand on this. I've seen people that are saying that this is a work. I have seen people saying this is a shoot. I have seen people kind of in the middle saying either I don't know or I think some of it is a work, some of it is a shoot. And honestly, I mean, I think there might have been a little bit of movement following this interview. I'm certainly getting more people in my notifications saying they're starting to believe that Karrion is really gone from WWE following this interview. But again, you're going to have to make your own mind up, right? So Karrion said also that Triple H was not happy about that promo that he did after WrestleMania. Apparently no one told Triple H that that was a work. Came out in that documentary, didn't it? That the promo was a work. And actually it kind of leaked before then that promo was a work. And so apparently Triple H was not best pleased about it. And I thought Ariel Helwani asked an excellent question. He was like, do you think they thought that you was trying to overshadow WrestleMania? You was trying to like steal the spotlight, if you will. And actually, when you phrase it that way, you can understand why WWE and Triple H and everyone that spends so long putting WrestleMania together could be upset with the fact someone then grabs a microphone and steals all the attention when they've worked so hard to get the headlines. Someone comes along, cuts a promo like that, and takes the attention away, you know? I mean, I do think if this is true, right, I do think that WWE is so big that its left arm doesn't know what its right arm is doing. It seems like a producer has asked Karrion, can you go on to the Sam Roberts podcast and just give me that character, give me that kind of fiery character. And so he's gone and done that. He's done what's been requested by this producer. Seems like Triple H was not aware of it, though. And then it seems like Triple H has got upset about it. And, you know, Karrion's just sort of caught in the middle, isn't he? So don't know that that was a factor if he has not re-signed. But I do still feel the same way that I felt all along, and that is that something big is missing. And actually, you know, even in this interview, we're finding out key bits of information, right? I mean, we found out in this interview that a new contract was offered. Now, you might remember not long ago, I think it was Dave Meltzer that reported a contract had been offered. And then Karrion came out and said, I'm reading a lot of stuff that's not true. So people presumed that that meant that there wasn't a contract that had been offered. But actually now it turns out Karrion is telling us there was a contract that was offered. So, you know, it's so hard when you haven't got all the information and there's lots of like reports that are kind of counteracting each other and contradicting each other. So, yeah, interesting about this Triple H part. There was another interview as well, right? So, Kelly the Wise Lady, thank you. Black Ice, thank you. So, there was another interview, and in there, Karrion said that he's still under contract with WWE. And a lot of people were like, oh, I think he just slipped up. I think he just showed that he is still under contract. But Karrion has actually provided some context to that. He said that that interview was actually recorded about 5 days ago when he was still under contract. The first interview following his kind of release, if you will, is the Ariel Helwani one. So I did get a few people tagging me in the other interview he did. I'm not sure who that was with, but he did another interview and he did say about being under contract, and he was just pointing out that that was actually recorded 5 days ago. Karrion said he's not received an offer from AEW. He says that they are seemingly under the impression this is a work, and so he understands why they've not reached out. So Samantha, thank you. Lynette, thank you. So the truth of the matter is my contract was up last week. I never actually received a contract like an offer until last week. I got the offer. I wanted to know how they came to the valuation. When I inquired about that, they were unwilling to provide that info, and they told me I had 24 hours to agree to the offer or they were going to rescind it. The next day we talked. I asked if they had the info. They didn't. I said I can't make an informed decision without that info, and I'd like to keep the dialogue open. They rescinded the offer, and that's where we are. So really interesting. Again, to me, it just didn't seem... even this doesn't seem right. Like, it's so strange, and Karrion knows this is strange. And I think at one point in the interview, he's like, people are baffled by this. And I want those people to know I'm baffled by this as well, right? He's basically saying, this doesn't add up. I know this doesn't add up. I don't think it adds up, right? And that's kind of how he is explaining the fact that this feels like it's a work. He's saying it's a shoot. He's saying this is real, right? And he's saying basically it's not my fault that this is so random and it's so weird. And I do agree it is random and it is weird. And, the fact that, like, even here, so I think at one point Ariel Helwani asks him, did they offer you more money? Or is it the same money or less money or something like that? And the answer that he gave kind of implied it was either the same or it was a little bit better. I don't think it was a big jump, but, it's either the same or a little bit better. And so for me, he's got to be on like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. This idea, and creatively, they've had next to nothing for him. But this idea that they would, just a few days before his contract expires, just give him an offer and, like, when he asks questions about it, be very dismissive. And it's kind of like, well, you either want him or you don't want him. And if you've given him an offer, I mean, but seemingly you don't care if he signs it. I mean, it doesn't make sense, does it? It doesn't make sense. Like, if you want someone, then you sit down with them, you renegotiate, you get the deal sorted. If you don't want someone, thanks a lot, we don't have anything for you at this time. But this idea that they give him a contract, and then he's got a few follow-up questions, and they give him just 24 hours to sign it. And then, he's like, well, I can't do that without the info I've requested. And so then they go, well, you can't have it then, and tuck it away. I mean, it's just... yeah, it's so weird, isn't it? This is not how you like conduct business. I don't even know what this is. I don't. It's so strange. Honestly, this is so strange. It's so strange. He knows it's strange though, right? Karrion says that there was a middleman between them. So I had a conversation with Triple H earlier in the year about this. They gave us a point man, someone between us to communicate with. The point man is responsible for the dialogue. He knows what I want to do. I've made it very, very clear that I want to keep the lanes of communication and dialogue open. It's a very weird situation. It's weird, dude, says Karrion. I agree. I completely agree. Right, one day I waited for Hunter outside the production meeting. Once it was actually brought to my attention that he was not okay with it, so, that's promo. I explained everything to him. As far as I know, at that point, we were goods. Karrion says Triple H is not okay with that viral promo. Kross had to explain that it was a work. So that coming out of that Buzzard Boy, thank you. Thank you. As for the next book, it's not as far away as people would think. So there we go. Karrion Kross, just letting people know that if you've enjoyed this book, you might not have to wait too long till you get that next book. Okay, so Abyss said it's just too muddled, which I agree with, honestly. That said, I couldn't care much before, but now I am intrigued to see how this plays out. How does WWE make Kross a bigger star than he has ever been and not plan to benefit from it? It's true. How have you fueled that sort of online support for him even more? Like, turned it into a bigger deal and then just allow him to leave? Doesn't make sense, does it? All those "we want Kross" chants and all of that support that you see online, like, they are just going to allow that to go to AEW. I agree with this. I think it is muddled. Sean does not think it is. He said it's not muddled. Kross is a free agent. That's it. So I think Sean's having a different conversation, honestly. I think Sean's having a different conversation. I agree with this person that there's a lot of stuff here that you go, what? Why is that happening? And why have they done that? And what, like, it's just, there's so much here that just feels off. And, like, you know, you're kind of trying to make sense of it. And Sean's just like, no, listen, he's a free agent and that's it. So that's, I mean, look, Sean's in no doubt as to where he stands on this, yeah? Karrion, on people thinking that his exit is a work, he said people are following the events that have happened and they're going, how did this happen? This must not be real because it makes no sense. Believe me, I also think this makes no sense. So there we go. I mean, this is what we know, basically. This is where we are. The other bits that we've heard is that they weren't going to give Scarlett a contract until they sorted out Karrion, but I mean, that makes sense to me because I don't think that they really saw Scarlett as being someone that they wanted to use without Karrion. So if they don't have Karrion, I don't think they want Scarlett, right? I think they're kind of a bit of a package deal, to be honest. You know, she's kind of a big part of his entrances. You know, she can be a messenger for him. But, you know, considering they've got Julia and Stephanie and all this other talent, I don't think they were looking for Scarlett to really be an active women's wrestler at this stage, considering Io and Rhea and Bianca and, like, you know, Bayley and Becky and Charlotte and blah, blah, blah. So I think that if Karrion was not going to sign, then they weren't really going to be interested in Scarlett. So that was another kind of talking point that had been doing the rounds. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much else I can add. I think this is strange. I think this is confusing. I think this doesn't feel right, and it feels like there are things that are missing. I still feel like there's information that we have not been told. It might be stuff that Karrion is just holding back. I think WWE could make this a hell of a lot clearer if they put some sort of message out, but yeah, they're not going to. Of course they're not, right? But yeah, very strange, very strange. It'll be very interesting to see how the fans react to this news and this development. So there we go. That's the top story. Feel free to put down in the comments about what you're thinking on this. We did a video about the fact that there was no chance on Monday for Karrion. I think the feeling was that because we were in a French-speaking part of Canada, people thought that played a massive role in the fact that we weren't getting those chances, and people felt a bit more confident we would get some on Friday, some on Monday. I think this interview is only going to drastically increase the chances that we get something Friday, something Monday, in regards to that We Want Kross movement. Right, let's move to some other news, shall we? So, Brock Lesnar is now being advertised for Smackdown on the following dates: September 12th, September 19th. This is the graphic they're using to advertise Brock Lesnar. So, Brock Lesnar is going to be on Smackdown on those dates. So, Christopher, thank you. Edward, thank you. WWE may be changing the planned date of John Cena's final match so that it's on the same day as AEW World's End, which would be December 27th. Originally, the final John Cena match was going to be in early December. I think it was the 15th. On Saturday night's main event. This is not confirmed, but it does look like there is now a discussion that that date could be moved so it goes head-to-head with AEW World's End. We actually spoke about this during our Evolve watch-along. And honestly, at the end of the day, WWE is going to do what they think is right for their business. I've been made aware that there's like NFL and a few other things that are going to be on that December 27th date. So actually, you know, they might be hurting themselves a bit too much by going up against AEW. Of course, if they move to this date, it would feel like they're doing that primarily to hurt AEW, right? So they're going to have to weigh that up. Do they just stick with the date they've got, which I think is like the 15th of December, or do they move, cause some inconvenience for AEW World's Ends, but equally probably hurt themselves a little bit in the process as well? So that'll be something WWE will be weighing up at the moment. Right, NXT ratings 728,000 in regards to viewership. Pretty good. to be honest. Pretty good. I heard that it's a little bit of a decrease. It's just what I read, that it was a little decrease, not much, but, you know, anything over 700,000 is really good for NXT. When they were over on USA Network, they were doing like 600 odd thousands, 650, 660, 680. So to get over 700,000, I mean, it's brilliant. They've done so well this year. I think they've been the best brand, honestly. Out of Raw, SmackDown, NXT, I have consistently enjoyed NXT the most. Right, Bayley's back. She said, I had an intense dream last night. Sorry about that, lol. And look at this. We got a new profile picture as well. It's just Bayley. There she is, look. I think she even put a thing up. New profile picture. That was 2 hours ago. So it seems like Bayley is back. I mean, it feels like she just slipped into a dark place and now she's back. Of course, she can absolutely slip into a dark place again, right? So, interesting. Wrestle Night just asking, is this fake happy? And of course, it's a good thought because... or happy fake, because it's funny actually, because that's what she originally typed. But actually, you can click on translate, right, for Twitter, and it does actually solve it for you, which I thought was pretty fun. So that's what the original post was, but you can click on auto translate, and it works it out into, it was only backwards. It's not the hardest thing to work out, but it's not a foreign language. So I think I was quite impressed that it managed to work it out, honestly. Fake happy, happy fake. So there we go. So that was a bit of a Bayley update, right? A bit of a Bayley update. Let's go let's see what we got in here. Dominic said his recent rib injury was legit. He dislocated 2 lower ribs. They were digging into my cartilage. So I'm thinking this might have been the injury that he's been kind of out with. So there we go. Drew McIntyre was not a fan of John Cena's heel run. What a waste of time. That is Drew McIntyre talking about John Cena's heel run. What a waste of time. Dan Campbell revealed that Becky Lynch's backstage reaction to her new theme, right? She came up to me crying. She said it just meant so much. The last time my dad saw me wrestle was at SummerSlam. That's what I was looking for. I wanted to make something that was really important to her. So, she was in tears. It really did matter to her. This new theme, she loves it. I think it's great as well. I'm a fan of it. Yeah, I know we've spoke about this, but it is just... I think because Vince is obviously facing the allegations he's facing, and it feels like he's done. I don't think he ever comes back to wrestling. So it sort of feels in a way like we're just not going to hear from him again. Just sort of feels like, that's it. He's cancelled, right? He's done. And so any kind of comments we get out of Vince now just feel like they're a little bit like they're from beyond the grave in some ways, right? I don't mean to be morbid, but it does feel that way. I feel like everything we've kind of heard from Vince or every interview we've had with Vince, I sort of felt like, yeah, that was it. It was done. We weren't getting anything else out of Vince at this stage now. It was done. That book was closed. So actually to have Vince in this Hulk Hogan TMZ documentary was a pretty big deal, right? And this is such an interesting insight. So I'm actually going to play it. It goes for like 20 odd seconds. But this is Vince. And we've spoke about it before. But this is Vince talking about the way that they booked Hulk Hogan for the Netflix premiere of Raw.
Setting up, so to speak, this larger-than-life superhero. And you don't just let him walk out there. He deserves something very, very special. More than anyone. They owe him. It was like, okay, and here comes Hulk Hogan. I got angry because that's not the way that I would have done it, and he deserved much more.
I just think it's so interesting. Because that, as I said, is a comment that you just don't expect to hear. That is Vince just commenting, I think for the first time, on current booking. He said, that's not the way I would have done it. I got angry because they just threw him out there and they didn't build him. I know people are down on Hogan. I know people are down on Vince. This isn't a conversation about that. This is more about Vince, the guy that, you know, made WWE what it is, got removed from his job, is now being cancelled, understandably, actually speaking for really one of the first times. I mean, it's very rare to hear from him. And I think the first time he's actually said anything about the way that something is currently being booked. So I actually think this is a really, really noteworthy clip. I actually think this is something I did not expect to ever see or hear. And so there we go. Not a fan of how Hogan was booked on that Netflix premiere. Silverback, thank you. So I'll give you a wild guess where you can see a floating Peacemaker suit tonight. I'll be on Jimmy Fallon with Jimmy Fallon. It's good. So there we go. Cena on Jimmy Fallon. I just thought this was great. Look at that. I think that might be Giant Baba, but I'm not 100%. But look at that as a statue. So it looks like Giant Baba doing a German suplex to a car. Could you imagine if they created something like that for like Andre or something? I just thought that was so cool. I thought it was so cool. So that caught my eye and I was like, damn, that is just great. That is just great. We could create some statues like that. Could you imagine like Roman punching the ground and there being all the bricks and everything kind of... WWE could do some really cool stuff like this. So I thought that was brilliant. Yeah, look at this. Sad news, 15 minutes ago, Dwayne Johnson's family heartbroken to announce that Johnson's daughter Ava was in a serious car accident. And of course, there's a blooming AI picture and other this, right? I mean, this is just horrific nonsense that is out there. I mean, honestly, I go to Sean, I go to Fightful, I see what Meltzer's saying, I see what PW Insider is saying. This is the stuff that people are having to really mess around with, you know. It's no wonder that people believe all sorts of things. Ava here, who is fine, said there is such a special place in hell for people who do stuff like this. Y'all are so weird. And of course, there's a little link that will take you somewhere where they'll surely get paid every time someone clicks on that link, blah, 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 blah. Shayna Baszler spoke as well, right? So Shayna Baszler spoke after Karrion, and Shayna said that she doesn't think that some of the stuff she did was really appreciated by the current audience. She was not down on them. She said she understood why, but she's like, I think like my match with Ronda might get more appreciation as time goes by. And she was saying like, you wouldn't believe the people that come up to me asking like, oh, can you give me a good submission move? Or can you show me how to get out of this hold and all that kind of stuff? And she's like, my fingerprints are definitely on this industry. They are definitely on this industry. I know that for a fact. And that is good enough for me. So, you know, she would definitely come back to WWE. Of course she would. They asked about AEW. She's like, well, you know, never say never. She was just asked about a few different things. So, yeah. Apparently, she was released from WWE and still had 3 years left on her contract, which is just the worst. It's obviously never a good feeling, but it was not unexpected. Nothing was really hitting creative. As much as it's a bummer in that moment, I kind of knew that this is where we were at. So... that was Shayna, but she actually spoke for quite a long time. Both Karrion and Shayna both came across so well on this Ariel Helwani show. Very, very good. Zilla, I think he was talking to Chris Van Vliet, said he doesn't feel that he's quite ready for WWE, which I actually thought was really refreshing to hear. Genuinely refreshing. I actually think him saying that shows that he's a bit more ready for WWE than I think he was before. We've actually spoke quite a bit during streams about some of the maybe out of the ring concerns historically for Zilla, right? Nothing massive, but like I know that he had a bit of a falling out with Reality of Wrestling. There's a few other promotions that have kind of come forward and had a few grumbles in the past, and it doesn't seem to be his in-ring work, but obviously that can always be improved. But I think there was just a bit of, shall we say, maturing, developing, evolving, growing, like we all have to do. I think there was a bit of that. And actually, I think this is a very mature answer. I really do. So respect to Zilla And I'm sure his future is still very, very bright. I've no doubt he'll find his way to WWE one day. Aaron, thank you. So apparently we just had the longest wrestling match ever, and it was done for charity. So the world's longest wrestling match raised $37,000, which is incredible, for the Canadian Cancer Society. It went for 21 hours, 49 minutes, 12 seconds. So there we go. 21 hours, 49 minutes, 12 seconds. The longest wrestling match in history. So, hashtag world's longest match. So, absolutely respect to them. That is an absolute brilliant achievement. So, very, very good. So, Aaron, thank you. WrestleBuzz, thank you. I flipping love this. Unseen footage. I mean, is this not what we're all about? A clip from the Miami Beach Convention Center's closed circuit airing of WrestleMania 1. I'm sure there's people going, sorry, what? So back in WrestleMania 1, I don't believe there was pay-per-view at that point. What they had was closed circuit television. So this meant that they could beam a picture and get a picture out from Madison Square Garden, right? Not into necessarily people's homes, but into convention centers, certain theaters, certain places around the country people could go to watch WrestleMania 1, right? Not the kind of thing, my understanding, not the thing you could stay at home, order and just watch on your TV, right? You were either there or you went to a place like this. So this is Miami Beach Convention Center. This is a load of people arriving so that they could watch WrestleMania 1, but not actually be at WrestleMania 1. Much like if you go to the theatre to watch SummerSlam this year or something. Along those lines, yeah. But I've never seen this footage, and Alan Cheapshot says it's unseen footage, so let's check it out. I don't know if there is sound. I can sort of hear some.
I come here to see the wrestling. It's going to be once for a lifetime. God knows when it's going to show up again. And everyone that is going to wrestle tonight is one of the top wrestlers. And I didn't want to miss it.
It's not really high def, is it? Oh, well, there we go. So, I mean, that's interesting, isn't it? Look, they're selling the programs. I mean, I don't know if they're posters, but this is people going to... There you go. That's a good shot, actually, of the crowds. So, where was the TV? Like, here, was it? He was great, wasn't he? This is all the top wrestlers. I didn't want to miss it. Yes. Shout out to that kid as well. Shout out to this guy as well. And yeah, I mean, I'm not sure it's quite the cinema experience. I don't think the Sphere needs to worry. Let's put it that way, right? I don't think the Sphere needs to worry or Cosm need to worry. I'm not sure the TV in the corner of your room needs to worry. But hey, listen, you had to do what you had to do, didn't you? And here we are, WrestleMania 1. Great. Love that. Right, but Charlie, thank you. Growing up, I remember me and Dom, me and him were backstage just running around doing little boy stuff, just being wild and not listening to our parents. So there we go. Zilla talking about actually being backstage when he was young and just like having a bit of fun with Dominic Mysterio, like mates. Good. Christopher, this is crazy. So sending our best wishes to Charles Robinson, who was hospitalized after being bitten by a bat. Great way to start the morning. 2 a.m. I got bit by a bat. That's right, a bat. 4 hours later, I'm in ER and I'm having 6 shots. Hashtag animals attack. Hashtag hospital. Charles Robinson, referee, in hospital because he got bit by a bat. That's got to be probably the most random wrestling related story of the year, I'd imagine. That is truly random. Truly random. Right, let's have a look at fun, shall we, Robbie? Thank you. CM Punk said, who made this? Now, I don't think that's the real Punk, is it? Is that? No, it's a fan page. I do get tagged in this quite a bit. Quite a bit. Look at that. People look at this and think it's the real one. You can understand why. But if you have a look, it says fan page. So, still, look at that. I would think that's probably a lot of people thinking it's actually CM Punk, to be honest with you. But even so, I still really like this. There is Bron Breakker trying to teach some Steiner math. There's his pupils, LA Knight and CM Punk. So there we go. 40, 47 equals 100. Steiner math, baby. Steiner math. Oh, I think this went into the wrong folder, but Dark Phoenix Tees, congrats. Getting a response from Ron Killings. Very good. Right, here is Zelina Vega, right? She said, why are the early 90s or the 90s and the early 2000s like always on my mind? Let's have a look back at my childhood. I don't know where this is from. I don't think this is her room. I'm not sure what this is, to be honest, but it still gave me memories as well. Prapper the Rapper. Some of that early kind of... I don't think we had those phones in the 90s early. Some of this stuff is not quite the right time period, to be honest. We see some Mattel figures soon, and Mattel didn't start making figures till 2010. So some of this stuff is not quite in the right time periods. But still, there's some amazing bits in here that are very nostalgic. Pokemon doesn't do it for me personally, but I know it'll do it for many of you. And, yeah, let's look at these, like Game Boy games. Don't know what homies are. Those are newer figures. But, yeah, it's cool. There we go. I wanted to have a look at that thing again, because I don't know what that is, to be honest. It looks like some sort of cardboard pop-up of a game. And I was like, I don't know what this is. Not this. That. What the hell's that? It's some Pokemon, isn't it? Because these are Pokemon. Every journey begins with a choice. I don't quite know what it is. It feels like maybe a scene from Pokemon in a cube. Do you know what I mean? It's like someone's made a scene. That is so good. Like, honestly, I was looking at that and I was like, damn, that's clever. Like, could you imagine if you did a wrestling equivalent of that? Get a little plastic box. Little box about this big. Make, a ring and, this looks like it's printed. So, you should be able to make a ring out of paper, print it, get the aprons, the barriers and everything, print off the wrestlers, and just do, iconic moments, Like Andre Hogan face-to-face inside a little... Imagine that, and then imagine you could collect those moments. Oh my God, guys, we might have just stumbled across like $1 billion idea. Imagine that. Imagine that, and you collect the moments, and it's just iconic wrestling moments, and you could build a collection. That's my idea. Don't you dare take that from me. Don't you dare. I got that idea from looking at this. So don't you dare take that from me. I'll be livid now if someone does that. Livid. Unless, you want to talk about it. And, do you know what I mean? Right. Yeah, this was interesting. So basically, Stephanie speaks to Naomi, and she's like, why do you know when this moment changed, like when you became like the whole proceed with caution type character? And Jimmy was like, I've been proceeding with caution at home for a long time. So he was kind of insinuating there ain't no change, right? It's just you're now seeing the real version of what I've had to deal with. So yeah, very good, very good. It goes for a minute. I'm not going to play it. Right, yeah, The Miz was kind of mocking Seth's faked injury. So here The Miz was saying, if you want to find out more about this, teasing that he was injured, then tune into the Rich Elson show, because The Miz was hosting. Of course, The Miz is not injured. It's just him having some fun, mocking the Seth Rollins injury. So there we go. A lot of people were worried here. Look, Nathan Fraser said, I ask that you please respect my privacy at this sensitive time. I actually saw this without any context, and I was like, oh my God, what's happened? And then when you look at his feed, it's because of a football game. He supports Tottenham. They played PSG Paris, and sadly they lost on penalties, and so he posted this. I ask that you please respect my privacy at this sensitive time. Hayden, shout out to you. So yes, this is a wedding, right? So here we've got all these groomsmen coming in. That's what you say, isn't it? Groomsmen, is it? Best men? Groomsmen? Not sure. Boomers making their way into the room, lining up, and they're getting ready to welcome the groom, the main groom, daddy groom. And here, look, they're kind of lining up. And then I think it's Cena's music that hits, and they all break out into that classic WrestleMania entrance. So here they are. Music's about to hit. We can't play the music, of course. Copyright. Yeah. The struggle is real. Dude on the wrong side. That didn't happen at WrestleMania. Just ignore that bit. And so here they are, lining up, getting ready. And then boom, straight into... There he is. There he is. Josh Cena. About to make his way down. Love that for him. Love that for him. So there we go. That was a bit of pyro in there as well. Silverback said, I saw this thread. Kevin Owens in different cartoons. Let's go. Let's check it out. I'm not sure if I'll be able to name some of these cartoons, to be honest with you. Like this one. I don't think I can name this one, but there he is. Don't think I can name this one. I feel like I've seen this one, though. I feel like I've seen it, but I couldn't name it. The Turtles. I've seen this one as well. I want to say something like Biker Mice from Mars, but it's something along like that era. But I don't know. Which one is Kevin, anyway? Oh, there he looks nothing like him. Peppa Pig! Yes! Know this one. There he is. There he is. That's Peppa, I think. Fairy Odd Mother? Maybe? Fairy Odd Mother? There he is. Let's go. This is a good game, actually. Is it Transformers? Is it Transformers? Maybe? Don't know. It's got to be in it. It's got to be. Well, yeah. There we go. I think that was the last one as well. Good. I wish there was more. I have to get answers on a postcard as to which ones I didn't get. And Silverback, thank you. Here, look, Gunther posts a vlog of his day before SummerSlam. It included a blood test, food shopping, and hanging out with Shinsuke. Dude hangs out with Shinsuke in his spare time, so he's got a couple of days off. He needs to go and get his blood test. Right, there he is doing the old blood test. Love that for him. Oh, you'll be all right, big man. You'll be all right. Blood work done. Now I got to go to the tailoring, laundry, and the farm shop. So there's the farm shop. Yeah, picking a few bits up for the bus. There he is on the bus. Did we skip past the tailoring? Yeah, there's the tailoring. Look, there's his tailor doing her thing. Look, love that. And then there he is with Shinsuke going out for some food. Looks nice. Looks good. I think they both live in Orlando. So, look at that. Mate, I don't know where this place is, but it looks amazing. Day off in Orlando. I think we just get a glimpse of... There he is, look. Being a goof in the background. Is that drunk Shinsuke in the background? Is that drunk Shinsuke? I hope that's drunk Shinsuke. Go back to drunk Shinsuke. Squid, I'd eat that. No problems. I'd eat all that. Looks lovely. Go on, go back to drunk Shinsuke. Here we go. Day off in Orlando. Very productive. Let's go. A few beers were had. Fun was had by all. Love that. Right, Raymond, shout out to you. Got a repost and a like from Kendall Gray. I appreciate her a lot. So she's been handing out some follows recently as well. So she was excellent on NXT. Really, really good. Thought she put in a brilliant performance. So yeah, well done. Well done. If you're looking for follows, Kendall Gray might be dishing them out. Demon of Sticks has got the Wyatt 6 book. Very nice, my friends. Geeky Ghost Guy has got the new Dexter Loomis figure. Look at that. Very nice. Very good. Love your sign as well. That's great. Junkwax Obsessed said, I got my notebook along with the Wyatt 6 lantern and a Bray signed Funko. But full disclosure, the background is AI created. Thank you for your honesty, my friend. So there we go. Lovely stuff. And Hatchet Man said, I don't know if I sent this the other day, but I did get a like from Karrion. So there we go. Well done, my friends. Getting a like from Karrion and from Wrestling Days. Wow. What a legend. What a legend. And actually, it's time for this legend to say goodbye once again. So thank you for joining us. Appreciate the support as always. Huddle Talk, He Who Smiles, Alfie, Wrestling's biggest fan, Cal, Raymond, Sweet Chin Wrestling, Claire Webb, Silverback, Kelly the Wise Lady, Doc Plays Stuff, Eric, and William Hensey. God's gift to perverts. Thank you, my friends. Really appreciate the support, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.